Hello, and welcome to Pink Moon Lodge Episode 3 with your hosts, Amy Kruzik and Patti Lucia. Today's theme, we chatted about keys and locks, literally and metaphorically. Enjoy!
Hello and welcome to episode 3 of Pink Moon Lodge. I'm one of your hosts, Patti Lucia, and I am with
Amy Kruzik.
All right, it is a beautiful Saturday morning here. It is July 1st. So we're recording the show on July 1st to go up on July 5th, Wednesday, of course. We put them up, but we're recording a little early because of the holiday and holiday plans. Of course, Amy, you're going to a big old family reunion.
Yeah, heading to Pittsburgh tomorrow on the Irish side of the family.
Oh boy.
So yeah, I'll be experiencing that.
So will the Jameson be flowing there?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. My grandmother will definitely be there drinking her beer. Beer, yeah. Yeah, she loved her beer. So yeah.
And so are we talking Guinness? Are we talking like that really dark beer that
I'm trying to think. I'm not sure if she was particular about her beer. I think she was particular about it.
She just liked her beer.
Just liked the beer. Yeah.
And cold beer.
Yes, definitely.
Right?
Definitely.
All right. Because some Europeans drink it warm.
Yeah.
I don't really understand that. My grandparents, of course, my grandmother on my mother's side was Irish.
Yeah.
But boy, she liked her highballs.
Oh.
Yeah, she would drink highballs.
Wow.
Which are made with what are highballs made
I
of?
don't even know.
Well, I think whiskey is involved. I think
whiskey is involved.
Yeah,
sure.
whiskey's involved.
Yeah,
Jameson may have been involved.
Who cares what else is in it?
But at any rate, so you're going to a big family reunion in Pittsburgh, and is this one of those family reunions where it's like it's been 20 years?
Yes.
Really? Oh God.
Yes. Cousins, mostly cousins. So there's like my mom's 93, and then my aunt, her sister's 96, and then her younger, my mom's younger sister is like, I think she's only 89, only 89.
Wow.
So those are the three that are left. She has a brother. They have a brother, but I don't think he'll be coming. He's in Oklahoma. I don't think he can make it. And then all the cousins and all the, children of the cousins.
Yeah. So a lot of so you might be meeting some family members for the first time. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So it'll be exciting.
Yeah. That is exciting.
I can't wait for the stories to flow because I think everybody has a different story about our grandmother. And so it'll just be fun and laughter everywhere.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's a little bit of a slower rollout for me here in Georgia. Like I have family, I'm staying with family, but like there's also extended family out there that I haven't met yet. So over the holiday and over the weeks to come, I'll be spending time with family members that that I've never met. So that's exciting. So,
I know. And,
yes. Yeah. Stories will abound.
Yes. I know. Yeah. So today I kind of had a theme going. I was telling Patti about when I went to Paris and London in May, and how they have the lock and the keys on the bridges over there. And that made me think of like just the metaphorical piece behind the locks and the keys. Like what is the metaphorical, spiritual thing about locks and keys? So, that's kind of what we're going to talk. And why do people use the word key, like key to success, keys to the kingdom? Here's a key word, under lock and key,
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
answer key in the back of the book.
As teachers,
Yeah,
we're very familiar with the answer key.
answer key.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and how important it is to secure the answer key.
To secure it, right?
Yes, yes,
Under lock and
actually,
key.
the answer key needs to be kept under lock and key, and
Yeah.
that's no joke. That's literally, yeah,
Yeah.
that's literally what happened. So it's a double key there.
And then I
Um,
thought, why did they give the mayor a key to the city? It's this big key. What's he going to open? You know,
mm, yeah, what's that about?
what is that about?
What is
You
that?
know,
What is that about? What are you gonna do with that key, Mr. Mayor?
what door are you going to
It's like
open?
a secret weapon.
Yes. Yes, it could be. It could be. It could be.
Right,
So I don't
right,
know. We were
right.
kind of going to just have fun with it and just,
Right. No, but I mean,
yes.
honestly, this is the deal, folks.
Yeah.
Amy likes structure, and
I
she
have to
likes to,
have
because otherwise I'm gonna go off on a tangent and she's gonna follow me and we're gonna end up in places it's like, how did we get here? And
that can still
so
happen.
that can still happen, but so Amy really wanted it to have like weekly themes. And so I was like, that's cool. I'm kind of like, whatever, man. I'm flying by the seat of my pants. And Amy's like, I don't like to fly by the seat of my pants. I need themes. And I'm like, that's awesome. Let's do themes. I'm still gonna fly by the seat of my
Hold on.
pants
Hold
with a
on.
theme, because you go to a theme park and you're still flying by the seat of your pants. So
Exactly.
that's kind of what I so
Exactly.
I'm in Amy's theme, where I'm
With
in
theme
Amy's
park.
theme park today. All right.
I
So
love that. You
Amy's
see,
theme park today is all
we call
about
Patty's theme
keys and
park.
locks and keys, because this woman went to Paris and saw a bunch of keys and a bunch of locks in odd places, and it got her wondering, and the whole flight back to America, all she's thinking about, and she's just been thinking about it a lot and wants to kind of explore this
Let's
theme.
explore.
So we're gonna explore the theme of kind of like, and for me, I like a good metaphor.
Yes, that's what.
So
See, I knew
when I
that,
think of things,
Patty. I
yes,
did know that. So,
you are counting on that.
like, come on, let's talk about
So you are counting on that. So yeah. So when I think of keys, like, I think, the key to my heart, keys, and how a key opens, opens possibilities. And so
hmm
we have like literal keys, but we also use key as a metaphorical understanding. And so I think that people underestimate how much we conceptualize our reality in metaphors. So when you look, like, if we asked our audience, it's like, okay, fill in the blank. Blank is key. And we ask them, and so what would you put in the blank? What
Yeah.
would you put in the blank? And so anything that we associate with a key, we're going to talk about it like it's something that is of utmost important, or utmost importance, or it is something that we need to open up new possibilities or new areas in our lives. And that's kind of how we're going to refer to it and understand it, as literally a key. So
Yeah.
I think that we think of many, many things in life as as a key. And so we were talking
Yeah.
a few days ago about how we understand the keys of our life. Like, this is the key to my success.
hmm
So I need to have the key, and I need to do this or have this. This is the key to my success. Or this is key to my financial stability. So I have to achieve this, have this, accomplish this in order to have financial stability. So it is the key to my financial stability. Or this is the key to my happiness, or the key to our relationship, or whatever it is. And this is the thing that kind of opens up the lock of
And is
possibilities.
there only
And
one key, Patty? When you say key, is that the only key? Or
Well,
is it a master key?
well,
Does it?
it can be a whole ring of keys, but I think also that as we move through different phases of our lives, we need different keys.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if you think about your life as and this happens actually for there are some people who live in the same house practically their whole lives. And then there are those of us who have lived in different houses and different places that need different keys, So at this time in
Mm-hmm.
my life, when I was living in a dorm at college, I
Uh-huh.
needed a key to that dorm. And then when I got out on my own and I was living in that little first apartment, on
Yes.
Main Street, I had a key to that. And for that period of time, that was the key that kind of, opened the door for that for me in that time period. And so I think like we can think about different keys for different times in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course we have there are different aspects of our lives, our relationships, our work.
Mm-hmm.
Notice how we
Mm-hmm.
compartmentalize. And so you need a key for your relationship at home, and you need another key for
Yeah.
making things work or having success at work.
Yeah.
There's certain keys, that there's a key to your relationship with your children,
Yes.
and
Yes.
things like that. And so different relationships could require different keys.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, so I think like we can kind of continue, we can extend that metaphor, um,
Yeah.
all over places. So a master key, like when you
Yeah.
say master
It
key,
opens everything. Like a
I
principal. Yeah.
yeah, I actually think that you're kind of moving into more of a spiritual
Yeah.
kind of understanding that this is really the master key for everything. And
Mm-hmm.
so if you have that key, then it will determine all the other keys of your life. You may still need those keys, but it kind of opens up or makes available
Yeah.
more easily available all of those other keys
And
in
I
your.
thought, and I thought when you said that too, it's more of a spiritual for me, the master key. It's also like the lock and key go together, but it's the tumblers inside that we can change. The tumblers that
Mm,
um that's our growth,
mm-hmm,
Okay, all the tumblers need adjustment. So
mm-hmm,
so that this key, because it's the master key and the master lock, I
mm-hmm,
just saw this like the tumblers. We just change them
mm-hmm,
as we grow more
mm-hmm.
spiritually.
Yeah,
So
which would mean that the key is changing as well.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
there's growth in both. Yeah.
Mm-hmm,
But
mm-hmm,
inside, I mean, think about, when you put the key in the lock, I mean, it has to connect.
mm-hmm,
It's like a connection to open
mm-hmm.
that door.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
very specific.
yeah,
Have you ever had a yeah, you've had keys
yeah,
made, right?
yeah.
And it's very, you kind of look at that and think, how does that even
How does that even work?
work?
Can
Yeah.
I tell a story that just came to my mind?
Yeah.
This is so apropos to what we're talking about. Okay, another Thanksgiving story. Not
Oh,
not
okay.
not not another Thanksgiving story, but
Okay.
I had a magical key. Okay, this
Okay.
key. Okay, there's Thanksgiving morning. I don't know. This was 2017. My sister was visiting. One of my sisters was visiting, and we're like, oh, I could go for a latte at Dunkin' right down the street. So
Mm-hmm.
my niece's car was in the driveway, and I said, "Oh, honey, can I borrow your car?" Yeah, sure, borrow my car. Yeah. So I put the key in, the thing, and we drive off.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we come back, it's closed. Of course, Dunkin's closed. Darn, we should have checked before, right? So we come home, put the car back in the driveway, and the car doesn't shut off.
Wow.
I'm like, what is happening? Well, guess what? It was my niece's bike lock key, and I put it in her ignition, but it turned on the car.
Uh, but it wouldn't turn off the car.
You didn't turn off the car. I
How
won't go
can
into the
you?
fiasco, but
I'm just saying, a bike lock key in the ignition of a car.
Hmm.
I mean, because bike lock keys, from my
Hmm.
experience with bike lock keys, they look very different.
No, hers looked like a Volkswagen. I don't know if any of you had a Volkswagen, but
No.
it's like a flat key. It's flat and it
Okay.
has grooves on it, right? That
Okay.
looked Her bike key looked like the key to her car.
Oh
It
wow.
was flat with the grooves.
And it was close enough that it started it up.
Okay, so it's a joke. It's a joke
Uh-huh.
that is I'm reminded of about my
How did
magical
you
key.
how did you get the car to
Oh my
turn
goodness.
off?
Okay, so
Because
what we
could you take the key out?
we didn't no, it was stuck. It was stuck. So we had to, turn the open the hood and undo the engine, the
Yeah, the plugs.
plugs, and
Oh, the
so
battery,
battery.
all of it. Yeah, yeah.
We had to do that, and then we had because we didn't, you know,
And
that's the only way.
that's how the car stopped running. But how'd you get the key out?
Well, it took a long time. The next day it was Thanksgiving. Remember, it was the day after Thanksgiving. Nobody was open.
Oh, wow.
And we found a guy about an hour from here. And this we drove to all these, auto dealers, and they were barely open. We drove to every
Mhm.
garage we could find on the way.
Not the
Nobody,
Friday after Thanksgiving. It's
yes,
like,
we did.
nah, it's like,
Nobody, yeah, it's like, nah. But
yeah.
one guy, my husband's like, one guy took him. He goes, you have to go to this guy. He has a junkyard. So this guy at a
Mm.
junkyard knew how to do it, and he got it out.
Uh, oh,
Yay!
yeah. See, you can always count on the junkyard guy.
Right?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So,
They're the most
and
reliable,
they're the most
honestly.
reliable. Go to the junkyard when you have that kind of a problem. But I just had to say that story because it related to keys and my magical key.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that I've had yeah, I don't think that I have a key story
No.
like that. No, no,
What?
I don't not nothing like that. But I have, like, I just moved, right?
Yeah.
And so, you're kind of going through your drawers and you're making sure you're bringing everything you need and leaving what you need to leave if you're a renter. And there are always like these keys in a drawer that you don't
No.
know what they go to. And it could be important, because if it wasn't important, they wouldn't be in the drawer, but you can't quite figure out, what they go to. So you
Yeah.
start going around the house with the keys,
Yeah.
kind of, it's like, do they go to this? Do they go to that? Is it for the luggage? Is it for the bike lock? Is it for the this or that? And
Yeah.
whatever. So, and
Yeah.
finally it's like, okay, that's out,
I know. I
but
know. Have you
yeah,
ever saved your keys from your old houses? We used to save, well, like apartments or house, where you had to we did that for a while. Just not that we moved a lot, but it was just weird how you'd have a front door, back door key, like different keys, because there
yeah,
wasn't a
different keys.
master. Now they
Yeah.
do master keys for every lock in the house, but it was interesting how you kind of like, why do we hold on to those keys from like another house we lived in? It was kind of like
It's like a
you know,
sentimental thing.
yeah, of
It's
course,
like the
sentiment.
key, the key held the memories.
Yeah,
So it's kind of like it
yeah.
didn't, you weren't going to well, hopefully you weren't going to go back and open the
No,
door again. But what it
no.
opened was
Our first
it opened up
house.
it
Like,
opened up the memories of the first house. So it
yes.
was, it was a symbol for all of the memories and everything that happened related to that first house. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see that.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're
Yeah.
just interesting to look at all the little grooves, all the
Mm-hmm.
different, when you line them up with different keys and you see all these different grooves and you're like, they look like little mountains, like little,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like, wow. I mean, I don't know. That's where my mind goes. Like, did you ever
Yeah.
trace a key as a kid? I used to trace keys,
Yeah, yeah,
my
I've done
parents'
that.
keys. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I've done
There's
that.
something about the tracing of a key.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of cool, and then you can make something out of it. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like
Yeah.
mountains.
like mountains, like a little village. You can make a whole little village out of your keys.
A little key village.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like a little arts and crafts
It is.
thing that you can do with kids.
We did. Yeah, we
We're gonna
did.
draw a little
We
village.
did because it's so cool to see what
We're gonna
they.
use these keys. And then you can say, so, and you have the key to my village. You have the key to my
I love it.
village.
I love it.
Yeah, yeah, that's
I don't
sweet.
know. Just it was sweet. It was the preschoolers loved it. They loved it because it teaches them, their fine motor skills too on tracing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. Very cool.
It was fun. Yeah. So
Very cool.
yeah, so I did have this poem,
Mm-hmm.
which is what when I was when I was thinking about the locks and keys, uh when I was going to Paris, I just thought, oh, this is a pretty cool poem. So this one is by Tom Ramsey,
Okay.
and it said, "Old ones from forgotten locks of long closed doors, of houses whose halls she once strolled, strange ones found at flea markets, abandoned in drawers of hand-me-down furniture. They are hoarded in coffee cups on the high shelves of cupboards with the seldom use of fine china. Not bound by rings or chains or fobs, they are tangled and messy like spent lovers. Each week one is removed from its cup and set between the ones for the car and house. She smiles as she passes unfamiliar doors, imagining that her mysterious key will fit. Again, an unused key is exchanged for another, while secrets remain untold, fantasies unfulfilled, treasures undiscovered, and demons unloosed, behind long closed doors and long forgotten locks. And smiling patiently, she waits for just the right key to just the right door on just the right day." Wow. So much in that.
Yep. Do
Yeah.
you yeah, keys are I think, and because they're metal, I think like energetically they hold a lot more than people think.
Mm-hmm.
So if people are concerned, for instance, about spiritual hygiene, one of the things that people do when they come in the house with their keys, which they've had on them all day, is they'll put them like on salt or
Mm-hmm.
something. They'll
Mm-hmm.
put them on salt to kind of to,
Selenite.
yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
to clear the energy.
Yeah.
Um because it's something that you've had with you all day. It's been in contact with other things. It is metal, so it holds. And then you come home and you put it in your door,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
you open
Yeah.
your door. So keeping your keys like in a bowl with salt or silver sage or whatever
Mm-hmm.
at the front kind of keeps them keeps them kind of clean.
Yeah.
um yeah, it's a little bit like taking your shoes off when you come into
Yes.
the house.
Yes.
So keys can be a little bit like that. Sometimes I think we underestimate how much uh, different energies attach to
Mm-hmm.
us or attached to the things that are easily attached to
Mm-hmm.
anything,
Yeah.
anything
Yeah.
metal.
Yeah.
So keys can be, um, you know, keys can be haunted, you
Yeah.
know. So you have those
Skeleton.
old,
Skeleton keys.
you have those old keys. You don't
Yeah.
really, you have to
Yeah.
be really careful. They're, like uh things that you get at like an old antique shop,
Yes. Yeah.
and so you look at some of those and they always have keys at old and
Always.
yeah, they always, and you think they're really cool, but you have no idea what the
Mm,
where those keys have
where
been,
the yes,
or
yes.
where anything in that antique shop has been.
No, no.
So
That's true.
sometimes people will bring stuff home from an antique shop And
I
they're
definitely.
not just bringing home a key or a piece of furniture. They're bringing
Mhm.
some other stuff home.
Yes, I
They've got
definitely.
visitors.
I love to thrift, so I do, definitely do that process when I bring anything home,
Mm-hmm.
such as that,
Mm-hmm.
whether it be just like sage through it,
Mm-hmm.
wipe it down with
Mm-hmm.
alcohol, spray it with
Mm-hmm.
alcohol,
Yeah.
even spirits, not just
Yeah.
rubbing alcohol, but
Yeah.
actual
The
alcohol.
spirits. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
because those are very powerful too.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Salt, whatever, like however
yeah,
you, yeah,
yeah,
however you can do it.
yeah.
Um, and just a last thought on keys, because I think it's just so um true. Like when we think about the keys that we need for different things in our lives, like we're looking for that master key, we're
Hmm.
looking for the key to love, we're looking for the key to a happy life, we're looking for the key to a successful life or a content
Hmm.
life, or
Hmm.
whatever it is. We're looking for what is, we're looking for the key to our purpose here on earth. That's a common one. People are
Yeah,
always, what's the key? Well, when we look to um oftentimes we look to gurus and we look to teachers, we find people online, or we think, oh, this person is going to have all the answers.
the key,
They're going
the
to have the
answer
key.
key,
They're
the
going to have
answer
the
key.
answer key. They're
Yeah,
going to have the answer key, and that is going to turn my whole life around. So we look outside of ourselves,
yeah,
and oftentimes what is more true than not is that we've done all of this searching, but the key has been in our own pocket the whole time.
yeah, yeah,
And we realize that sometimes much further on down the road, that the key has been in our own
yeah.
pocket the whole
Whole time.
time, and we didn't need to look to to gurus, or I think of the Wizard of Oz, and one of
Yes,
the
I was just thinking
that
that.
movie, right, that it
Yes,
just resonates so well. I think that movie was a flop, actually. I think when it first
was
came out,
it?
it was not a popular movie. It did not really, it wasn't great. It wasn't a box office hit at all. And then
Oh
it was
my
over the years that it
God.
became a real cult classic. Real, it was
Yeah,
just, it became like this huge, classic. But when it first came out, no, it wasn't really successful at all. But I think that there are many things that appeal about the Wizard of Oz, but one of them is the concept that you could be, the character of Dorothy is looking for the key for her return home. She just wants
hmm,
to go home. She's in this strange land. She has to find, find the key. And of course, everyone says, you've got to see the wizard, you've got to go. The wizard will
yes,
know, the wizard will have the key
hmm,
to your return home. And she goes through this whole arduous journey, only
right.
to find that, well, the wizard kind of turns out to be a fraud, right? So he
He
kind
does,
of turns
he
out to
does,
be a fraud. So,
he does.
and isn't that apropos? I mean, honestly, when you think
Yeah,
about it, it's certainly, we can use that as an analogy for, for people who are living a more spiritual life. How many times have we said, this person, I'm following this person, and they are providing all the answers, and then
yes.
they turn out to be a shithead, or they turn out to be, somebody who just likes to, you know, um, take
Hear themselves
advantage,
talk.
yeah, hear themselves talk, or take advantage of the women around them,
Yeah,
or,
yes,
so totally caught up in their own egos. It's like, oh, blah, oh
yeah,
no,
yeah.
I can't believe I hung my hopes on, and I thought that this person held the key, and they're just a
Hmm.
schlub. They're
Yeah,
they're a fake. They're a fraud. They're a charlatan. And then we feel really badly that, mostly because, I mean, like, you can be really angry and upset, but a lot of that anger and upset is directed at ourselves, for like, oh man,
yes,
I fell for that. How could I? And so that goes on a lot,
It does. It does.
for people. And it's a hard concept for us to accept that we have the key
We
in our
have the
own
key. We have the
pockets.
answer to the key. We have
Yeah,
the answer to the
we have
key.
the key in our own pockets, just like Dorothy.
Exactly.
She had the answer all along. And she had gone on this arduous journey. And of course, but here's the thing, and I think there are just so many wonderful connections between Dorothy's journey and our journey.
Yes.
So she realizes, yeah, she had the key all along, but it doesn't negate the journey.
Right.
And so it doesn't, she met some amazing friends along the way. She learned how brave she is.
Courage.
She learned about all of the ways that she is also courageous and loyal. And she certainly learned about herself,
Yeah.
right? And her own strength and her own fortitude. She learned along the way. She learned that she didn't have to run away from her problems. She could face them. She had the courage to face them. So even though she got to the end and she found out that, the wizard, he turned out to be a nice guy, but he wasn't a wizard. He was
He
just a
wasn't a
guy.
wizard, right?
He was just a guy.
Right.
But she had the key the whole time,
She did.
for getting home. And it just is a message, and just many messages in there that so resonate with people. And we can connect Dorothy's story to our own in a way. Dorothy is the common, it's the hero's journey. It's all of us. It's
Mm-hmm.
all of us going through life and learning these lessons, and learning that we've had the key in our pocket the whole time. But it doesn't mean that the journey hasn't been meaningful at all. The journey has been extraordinarily valuable. So we don't have to say that was a waste of time, or that was a
No.
waste of energy, or that was a waste of a journey. In fact, there was nothing wasted. There was
Mm-mm.
absolutely nothing wasted in her journey, even though she gets to Oz and finds out that he's a fraud.
Yeah.
And so, what a wonderful lesson. And I think that's why The Wizard of Oz has always resonated with me. There are so many just ordinary lessons in there. So
There
lessons about
are.
keys, lessons about the journey. Yeah, there's lots of stuff. It's very rich.
It
Um,
is. It is. It is.
but I just wanted to add that about the journey, about keys, about always, but we have it in
Mhm.
our pocket, and it's a hard thing to accept. We really don't trust ourselves. We don't
Exactly.
trust
I was
that.
just gonna say it's that
Yeah.
trust. But each
Mm-hmm.
character, as she was going on her journey, each character
Mm-hmm.
built her trust,
Absolutely.
and
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of like you kind of need that. We
Mm-hmm.
come into this world and we trust, right? We trust
Mm-hmm.
the world's gonna provide. We trust our parents are gonna provide for us. And so
Mm-hmm.
you carry that trust, but sometimes,
Yeah.
you
Doesn't.
doesn't always work out that way.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think a lot, I think about faith that way too,
Hmm.
like, what does it mean to have faith? So, it's something, it's believing, though you don't really have the concrete proof, you
Mm.
know. And in the end, I think faith comes down to what kind of faith do we have in ourselves?
Oh yeah.
Again, the
Yeah.
key, the
Yeah. The
key
key.
to trust and to faith is in our pockets. So how much do you trust yourself? Do you trust your spirit? When your spirit is speaking, how many times do we ignore our spirit?
Hmm.
We get these messages and we're like, nah, nah, I don't think so, or that's just my imagination, or
Yeah.
that's inconvenient, or that doesn't make any sense. That's not
Right.
rational. I can't do
Right.
that. I have to think practically about my life, and sometimes we think that the messages that we get from spirit are just so impractical. It's like,
Yeah.
spirit, you don't know what it's like to have to pay the rent and have to, you don't know that you want me to do this and that. You have no idea. Just need to be quiet and sit in the back seat. I got to drive this car, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
sometimes, I think people kind of have those tussles
yeah,
with spirit, when the messages come through and it's like it's not convenient or not practical or whatever. And so it's that so that's when trust and when faith really come into line. How much do we trust our spirit? How much faith do we have in ourselves
yeah,
and in our
yeah,
own inner guidance system? So we say that I think a lot of us kind of talk the talk, you know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, I have an inner guidance system, that I follow. And then the next thing you know, they're doing some screwed up thing. It's like, yeah, was that your inner guidance system? Not exactly.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
exactly.
Again, to me, it's that key, that connection with the lock, that
Mm-hmm.
connects that inner guidance. Like you
Mm-hmm.
kind of, that was a muscle I had to build,
Mm-hmm.
trusting that inner guidance and knowing like, okay, I get it. So it's like the tumblers had to be changed a little bit, like
Mm-hmm.
adjust,
Yeah.
to get to that place where you're like, now I can trust my
Yeah.
guidance,
Yeah.
but
And sometimes
it's
it
it
needs WD-40.
sometimes exactly. It's
WD-40
just a little
works
sticky,
really
a little
just a little
stubborn,
bit. You have the
a little
can with that
stubborn.
that really thin thing that you put in the top there,
Yes,
the
yes.
the thing that's kind
The
of can
spray.
fit into that little keyhole, and you kind
I
of
know.
like that, and then all of a sudden
Right?
it's like a miracle.
Right.
Yeah.
I would say that would be my stubbornness that would not let it. I needed some WD-40,
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah.
my, you know,
Hmm. So you're being stubborn. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
stubborn. Yeah. Keys
I,
can
I
be stubborn.
yeah. Or we can be, yeah. Yeah. I don't know if
You
it's
know?
the key that's stubborn or if it's the
Well, I'm
user.
saying that I'm right. Okay. So I'm saying I'm the key that's going into the lock. So I'm attached to the key.
Oh,
I'm
so
attached
now
to the
you're
key.
the key. All right.
I'm the key.
You're the key.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
So,
Yeah. I mean, I think like when I had been hearing, like my spirit had been kind of saying, you gotta go.
mhm.
It's time to go. It's time to go. You gotta,
Yeah.
it's the mountains. You really need to be in the mountains. You need to be in the mountains. And I would be like, I just don't, I need to do this first. I need to
Yes.
do that first. I need to accomplish that. I just need to put things in order
Oh,
before I,
that's not how
before
spirit
I can
works.
go,
Spirit
before I
work
can
doesn't
go.
doesn't work that
Yeah.
way.
And yeah, but you know what? The thing is that is true. And yet I think that there's also something about, and this is all part of the journey, there's something about divine timing. So when I decided to action that voice, that inner voice that was saying you need to get to the mountains, when I decided to action it, that's when I started to explore. It's like, okay, all right. So I'm listening, I'm exploring where am I going? And so, all right, so I'm heading north, I'm heading to the mountains. Here are my options. And then I started to explore my options. And then as soon as, basically it was as soon as I put my focus
Mhm.
on listening and saying, all right, so we're heading to the mountains, because I was in South Florida. No mountains there, by the way. No
No,
mountains for a long, you got to head
no.
quite a
Yeah.
distance north before you start seeing some mountains, right? So I
Gainesville. Yeah.
knew I was leaving. I knew I was leaving Florida. I was like, okay,
Yep.
we're heading out of my Florida days are over. So I knew that. So as soon as I kind of shifted my focus in that direction and I started saying, okay, what are my options up there? Things started to fall into place. So
Guess
you're
what,
gonna
Patty?
you're gonna make a lock analogy, aren't you?
Yes,
You're gonna talk about
because
that inner part of the lock. Okay, go
Yes,
ahead.
because
Go ahead.
listen,
Go ahead.
listen.
Whatever, man. Just do it.
Did you just say focus? You have a Ford Focus that has a key,
Yes, I
doesn't it?
have a Ford Focus.
Ding
Oh,
ding,
oh, you're going
ding ding.
there. Oh,
I think your car kind of helped you.
I
I
think my
think your
car kind of,
I think your
yeah,
Ford Focus kind of like and the key
yeah,
into that.
yeah,
It took
yeah.
you. It took you
Yeah,
right to the mountain.
it's interesting because when I bought that car, I was not, I'll be honest with you, I was a little bit of a snob before that in terms of like Fords and Chevys. It's like, I don't think I ever want to own a Ford or a
It's a
Chevy.
country song. It's a
I was
country
like a
song.
Toyota. I was like Toyota, Subaru, Nissan. Toyota, Subaru, Nissan. What's with the Ford, you know? And that just happened to be, and I just remember thinking, well, it's an interesting name, the Ford Focus. And I often thought about that. Focus. Interesting,
Yes.
interesting name.
Yes.
And I think that over the years that has that has
Hmm.
rung true, and I kind of think about it, and it ends up being the car that brings me to this new place to live. So
Yes.
I it, in that sometimes I think that there are signs along the way, just like, Dorothy and that scarecrow, and that funny sign is like, oh, it goes this way, oh, it goes that
Yeah,
way,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But the sign really was the scarecrow, not the actual sign. But
Yes.
and so I think that we're always, receiving signs
Hmm. Hmm.
along
Hmm.
the way, and that has been true of my journey here. So I kind of arrived here, and I've been here for 1 week. All right, so
Yeah.
1 week, and there has been sign after sign after sign after sign that this was exactly where I needed to be, that this is totally a healing journey for me, because I feel like I'm healing on many different levels, physically, mentally, emotionally, etc., spiritually,
Yeah.
and that's all happening simultaneously. And I have been here for 1 week.
I know.
So, you kind of move your focus, you listen, you move your focus. Spirit has a reason why, we're heading in this
Yes.
direction. And then
Yes.
the road kind of gets cleared, and which happened, things kind of fall into place. And then when you arrive, it's cascading, and that's really been. I've had friends, by the way, who were concerned. It's like, Patty's in Georgia and I haven't heard from her.
Yeah.
It's in
Yeah.
Georgia. Is
Yeah.
she all right? We haven't heard from her. She hasn't called. Her voicemail is full. What's going
Oh
on?
man.
We don't know. She's not posting on Facebook. What's going on? We don't know what's happening with
Hey,
Patty. And
hey,
I was,
we're
what were we going
focused.
to
We're focused. Well,
focus?
you know what I wanted to say too about the now we're switching from the key.
I'm never gonna sell that car. I think I'm just gonna
No,
keep
you can't
her
sell that
until.
car. And I have to say that I have a Jeep Cherokee.
Oh, okay.
So I'm connected with the Native Americans, which,
Okay.
yeah, I love, and I didn't know, I was just didn't realize that when I
Mm-hmm.
bought the car. I'm like, oh, I like
Mm-hmm.
this. I didn't even realize the name, but
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yeah.
yes, yes. So I'm very, I love those, my ancestors there. Um, but we have to, I wanted to say about even our podcast, the focus. What I wanted to point out was that we talked about this back in the fall. And we're like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that sounds like a, good idea, blah,
Yeah.
but nothing happened. Nothing happened. 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
And then Patty, when I get back from my trip, you're like, let's do this. And
Mm-hmm.
look how fast, I mean,
Yeah.
with our
Went pretty fast.
focus, we started this podcast
Yeah. And I wasn't
because
really
we were
sure.
ready. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, and I wasn't really sure. It's like, well, I'm right in the middle of a move
I
here. And
know.
then it was like, but wait, that's what it's kind of about. It's kind of this, the move is part of
Uh,
what I'm talking about on the podcast in terms
exactly.
the journey. The
The
move is the
journey.
journey, and it is our
But I think,
continuous discovery of our own key in our
yes,
own pocket.
in our own pocket, because I think those from last fall until now, we did have those keys in our pocket.
Yeah.
They were kind of like energizing us, and we didn't
Mm-hmm.
realize it at the time. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we didn't really talk about it again. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think we did.
Yeah,
And
no.
it's like, but then for some reason it's like, okay, I'm gonna
There we are.
let's do this. So I
Mm-hmm.
just love that kind of focus process, the different kind of focus process, right?
Yeah.
We're working in the realms
Yeah.
together. We were up
Mm-hmm.
there working with our spirits together
Mm-hmm.
to be able
Mm-hmm.
to come together and like,
Yeah.
let's just do it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
how beautiful,
Yeah.
it's been. I have
And
to
it
give a shout
unfolds.
out. Yeah. Shout out to David Ellis because
Mm-hmm.
he's really been helpful with
Yeah.
the technology aspect of doing a podcast
And the focus aspect.
and the focus aspect. Yeah. So
The focus
shout
aspect.
out.
Yeah. A big up to David,
Yeah. Thank you, David.
who really has been very supportive. And on
Yes.
that note, if people are not connected with UCM,
Hmm.
connect with UCM and with David. He's doing, and we're gonna on our own Facebook page and YouTube page, I think. Uh, David is going to be posting some really interesting um, uh, videos for that are particularly helpful for
Hmm.
people who are starting up their own business, their own,
Yes.
particularly online business. So if you have a practice, if you have a healing practice, you want to get out there, you're doing, you're in that, you're in the healing arts,
Hmm.
etc. David is working really diligently to help people with their with new online businesses.
Yeah.
How do I do that? How do I
Yeah.
establish a presence?
Yeah.
What are, how do I promote? How do I, and there's a lot to it. I know as as a writer, as an author, that has been a big thing for me
Yes.
learn,
And
and I've been resistant to it, and many of us, in
yes,
the healing arts and whatever. I just want to kind of do my practice, or I want to do my writing. I don't really want to get involved in
I know.
promoting.
Well,
and
what key is
and
talking there? Now,
yeah,
it could be that
yeah,
stubborn key,
yeah.
or but I do want to give a shout out to Nikki DeCroce too,
Yeah.
because they work together so well
Mhm,
in doing and
mhm.
promote and doing these great
Yeah,
shows too.
and
And
doing
we would
them.
love to have them on too.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
definitely going to be, they're kind of in the queue
Yeah.
for our, because that is something, and we want to let our listeners know that we are going to have guests.
Yes. Yeah.
We are going to have guests come on, and we're going to have, conversations with them and interview them. And so Nikki and
Yeah.
David are definitely in the queue. I think Andrew Bartzis wants
Yeah.
to come and have a chat with us sometime, and
Yes. Two
there are a
feathers.
few.
Yeah,
Yeah,
two
yep.
feathers
Mm-hmm.
medicine. We can have Laura
Mm-hmm.
and Maddie,
Yeah.
and then Dale Tobin with
Mm-hmm.
his psychic surgery. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we got
Yeah.
some
So
lineup.
we've got, yeah,
Yeah,
we got some folks
we got some folks.
to bring on and have conversations with. What else?
Yeah.
What else do we want to tell
Yeah.
people? Um, hmm, there was something else, and I don't know, I'm forgetting. So there's that, and the our guests. Yep.
Hmm. Yeah.
Well, I think that's, yeah, I think
I think that's good.
that's probably enough. But we're both excited about, oh, yes, that's what it was.
What? What?
We we would like to also live stream.
Aha.
We would like to live stream, but there are some requirements from YouTube and Rumble
Yeah.
that we have to meet. So, for those of you who are listening and you are on Rumble and you go on YouTube, if you find Pink Moon Lodge and
Yeah.
subscribe, we have to
Yeah.
have a certain number of subscribers on Rumble and a
Yeah.
certain number of subscribers on YouTube in order to start streaming live, because we'd like to do that at some point, because
Hmm.
we would really like people to
Join
ask,
us.
yeah, to join
Yeah.
us, join the conversation
Yeah.
live.
Yeah.
We think that would be,
Oh,
we think
yeah.
that would be really awesome. So but we need to kind of do that before we can start live streaming. So if you're on Rumble and you are on YouTube, please find Pink Moon Lodge,
Hmm.
subscribe to it. If you
Yes.
watch the videos on YouTube or Rumble, give them a like too, and
And
that'll help get us a little closer to being able to live stream with
yes,
you.
yes, please. Thank you so much, everybody. And don't they say that we need, isn't it that they said we need stream keys
Yeah, yeah. But
before,
those we stream.
well,
Oh yeah.
stream
Oh,
keys,
okay. I'm sorry. Yes, missed
stream
that.
keys.
Stream keys. Yeah. So we need
It unlocks
yes.
us to be able
Yeah.
to stream. How cool is
And
that?
and in order to qualify for stream
Stream
keys,
keys.
we need a certain number of subscribers. So they're like,
Yeah.
yeah, we're not going to give you the
No,
keys to the
no,
live stream kingdom yet. You've
not yet.
gotta, yeah,
You gotta
you've
get
gotta
some,
have, yeah,
you
get
gotta
some folks.
get some folks out there, come on. Members in our Facebook page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Visit us
And
on YouTube and Rumble if you're on
yes,
Rumble
please.
and yeah, hit the subscribe button so we
Yeah,
can start live
we can
streaming
do it.
soon.
Yes.
Yep,
Oh my gosh.
absolutely. Well, all right. So, I think that for the holiday,
Hmm.
I'm going to be making a key lime pie.
Ah, yay!
Yeah. So named, of course, after Florida Keys.
Yes, Florida
So that's
Keys.
a whole, yeah, that's a whole
Mm.
other key to what? We don't know, but
Oh, I feel like I go when I drive down to the Keys. It's so
hmm
cool to drive through each key. It feels so
hmm
different. The energies of each Florida key is
Yep.
amazing. If you have not
hmm
done that, I feel it as a portal, and keys do
hmm
open portals.
hmm
I feel like
hmm
it doesn't take me long to get there. It's
Yeah.
the weirdest feeling I always have when I drive, when I'm in Florida and I drive there.
Well, it is close to the Bermuda
Bermuda Triangle.
Triangle,
Yes,
and there's a whole lot of there's a that's a whole vortex. That's a whole thing in and of
the
itself.
whole thing.
And I've heard that there may be a pyramid down on the sea floor in the Bermuda Triangle, which may be the source of some of that interference and
Hmm.
chaos that people have felt on the surface from time to time.
Hmm.
A wonky kind of energy thing that they have there may be connected to Atlantis. We don't know. There are all
Yeah,
kinds of theories about
yeah,
Atlantis,
yeah, yeah.
or whatever, but that's one of them. But yeah, I think that there is something on the bottom of of the ocean in the Bermuda
Hmm.
Triangle that
Hmm. For
yeah,
sure. Things
that
have
kind of
disappeared.
yeah
Things have
makes
disappeared.
things yeah
Yeah,
yeah makes things wonky over there.
yeah.
But at any rate, so the Florida Keys are very, very close
Yes.
to that spot. So
Yes.
I think that's it for this week. We
Hmm.
thank you so much for joining us as we have explored all manner of keys, and of course the
Yes.
Wizard of Oz and Dorothy, my favorite. Um, and
Yes.
what else?
I do have a question, of course,
Uh, yes.
to leave with. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Questions provide questions provide the key to unlocking our unlimited potentials. What key question are you going to ask yourself today? What key question to unlock those potentials? Do you have the key, Patty?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many.
I know there's so many. You don't have to answer. It's
No,
just I'm putting it out there. I'm
I was
putting it
at,
out there.
I was actually
Yeah.
going to just be facetious
Oh, you
because,
were.
because my questions that I might ask today might be, I wonder where my cousin Richard is going to take me to dinner.
That would be a key question to ask yourself today.
It's a really key question. So my cousin Richard wants to take me to a surprise place for dinner. I think it
Whoa.
might involve soul food. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, of
So
course.
that's kind of a question
What unlimited
for me
potential awaits you?
with yes, unlimited, yeah.
A buffet, maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, so lots of questions. We're gonna let you mull over Amy's Amy's question, what kind of question do you want to ask yourself that opens up that is the key to whatever potential for today. And it really could be anything. You don't have to think about these really, really big questions. It could be just
a simple answer leads you to so much, like just a simple answer for me.
Actually, simplicity is the key. Thank you so much for joining us this week. This podcast is being aired on the 5th, but we're recording it on the 1st. We hope everyone has, by the time you see this, you will have hopefully enjoyed your holiday, enjoyed the 4th, enjoyed time with family, looked at some beautiful fireworks in the sky. And
I've seen them already.
And enjoyed some real good home cooking or barbecue. So however you've enjoyed that holiday, we hope that you have enjoyed it to the fullest. And we will see
and hello, I want to say hello to our peeps in Scotland. Have fun, everybody out there in Scotland. Yes, and stay magical, please.
Oh no,
stay magical.
Are you gonna? Oh god. Okay, all right, you guys. Bye. Have a beautiful week. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.